When I think about actors I've loved over the course of my life, Val Kilmer jumps to mind.
I'm your huckleberry.
The guy could do anything.
But can you do this?
Be anyone. The man was basically a legend in his own time, and now he's gone. That's the thing about being a certain age. You're almost guaranteed to outlive your heroes. It's a fact of life I was prepared for, but I'm finding that walking that road is a little bit harder than I thought. When you're talking about a filmography that takes place over decades with virtually no pauses, it's hard to know what to cover in a format like this. At least I thought it would be, but I quickly realized that I wanted to talk about Val Kilmer in my own terms, from my own experiences. This is Val Kilmer as I remember him. Somehow I missed this one as a kid. I mean, I was too young to see it in theaters, I was just a wee lad. But I can't believe I never caught this on Channel 11.
Channel 11?
Yes, that Channel 11, or just somewhere on TV, but I never did. It's Val Kilmer starring in a Zucker Brothers movie, and it's the perfection you'd expect. So many memorable scenes like the backwards bit, the underwater bar fight, every bit of this sequence. So good, this is totally my jam.
Smart people on ice.
For me, Real Genius isn't especially memorable beyond Val Kilmer's performance. It's not a movie I gravitate back to, it's just a reformative part of my youth and an important lesson in character. I just like this guy.
That's because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe.
Top Gun was so big, I can't even explain to you quite how big it really was. Okay, maybe Quentin Tarantino can explain it to you. Just take my word for it if you weren't there. Top Gun was a big deal. And why not? It's this exciting movie that's kind of about everything. Danger, love, friendship, rivals who become brothers.
You got Iceman and all his crew. Right. They're gay. And they represent the gay man.
See? Everything. I mean, it doesn't get much more legendary than Top Gun, or does it?
I don't love her, she kicked me in the face.
This movie basically is a legend. There's something about Willow. Sure, when it was new, it kind of blew everybody's minds with the effects. I know this transformation sequence isn't blowing anybody's minds these days, but this was a big deal at the time. But more than that, it was the characters, the performances. Warwick Davis as Willow, Joanne Whalley as Saoirse, and of course Val Kilmer as Mad Mardigan, the greatest swordsman who ever lived.
You are great.
There's just something about the way the comedy in this movie is timed. I'm so excited to rewatch this movie. I can't wait. Going right to the top on Mount Watchmore.
Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Yeah.
This, for me, is one of those performances where impression meets character. Val Kilmer isn't just doing Jim Morison's voice, because he is, but he's doing his character. It's the best of both worlds where we can easily recognize an actor as a popular figure, but we're not just watching someone do an impression. But what does an actor do when the audience has no expectations about the character?
I'm your huckleberry.
Proceed, sir.
Val Kilmer gives one of the most iconic and memorable performances in the history of film in Tombstone. I've made tons of Doc Holliday shorts. I'll link to the playlist here. Just go watch them. They're all amazing. And then go watch the film. I prefer the theatrical cut to the director's cut. It's a bit smoother. That's just me. But either way, you can't go wrong with Val Kilmer in Tombstone.
Madcap.
As long as you're not at the scene of the crime, smoking gun in your hand, you get away with it.
You barely see Val Kilmer as the ghostly Elvis in True Romance, but man, is his presence felt. It's probably one of the most unusual and yet memorable performances you'll ever see. Batman Forever, 1995. It's interesting what people remember when they look back on a career. As I'm skimming through the obituaries, they're all titled Batman actor passes away, something to that effect. I tend to think of Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, Jim Morrison, or in the role we'll talk about next, but Batman wouldn't have been on my list. I remember him saying in an interview that he realized the key to playing Batman in that movie was to be still. Everybody else's character called for them to be screaming and moving about. And he really needed to stand there and let every other character in the movie emote at him. He's good in it, it's just not something I would have jumped to. But it is an interesting movie that rides a lot of lines well.
For me, the sun rises and sets with her, man.
When it comes to a One Last Job movie, it doesn't get much better than Heat. And how everybody relates to Val Kilmer's Chris is kind of the soul of the movie. It's not the rigid spine of the cat and mouse between Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, but instead the beating heart of a love that, no matter how strained, can't be betrayed. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Let my people go!
So this is kind of a weird pick for me personally because I'm not especially interested in religion on a personal level, but the depiction of religion in film is something I've always been fascinated by, and this unlikely musical from DreamWorks is one of those movies that was on HBO all the time back in the day. And if I turned it on, I'd just start watching it and be unable to turn it off. Just couldn't walk away. I finally watched the credits because Jeff Goldblum's voice just really jumped out at me. And I was like, oh, that's Jeff Goldblum.
You see, because you didn't wish to see. Ah.
And I wanted to see who else was in the cast. And of course, there was Val Kilmer, not playing one character, but two. Those are some fun ones for the resume. This is one of those movies I've been recommending to people for 20 years, usually because it's a little bit more accessible than the Ten Commandments, which obviously has its place in history, but hey, I'm a Val Kilmer guy. So I know I skipped over a ton of movie and TV appearances.
I was shaving with a Mach 3. When you shave with a Mach 3, there's no time to think. You think you're dead.
And there's lots to talk about in regards to 2017's The Snowman, not just the Val Kilmer scene, or even his final appearance in 2022's Top Gun Maverick. But that's not what today is about. Today is about the man, the myth, and whatever else he may have been, the fantastic actor Val Kilmer, one of my favorite performers ever, who has now passed into legend.